What if a giant of ice, 14 times more massive than our world, set a slow, inexorable course toward Earth? Imagine a blue-green sphere drawn toward a cold colossus, its atmosphere stretched, its oceans heaving, its continents trembling under a force beyond any human history. In the span of weeks, the heavens would betray us. Tides would rise like mountains. The moon would be ripped from its familiar path, and the very crust of our planet would begin to fracture under a celestial grip. Visualize the night sky, once a tapestry of distant stars, now dominated by a luminous, bluish disk that outshines the moon by a factor of 100. The question looms: how would humanity meet its final chapter when the universe itself becomes the executioner? Astronomers have calculated that, under an extraordinarily unlikely perturbation, Uranus could be diverted from its distant orbit and thrust inward toward the inner solar system. This hypothesis, though remote, allows us to explore the chain of physical forces that would turn our blue planet into a fleeting ripple in a sea of frozen hydrogen. We will follow the evolution of this scenario from the first gravitational whisper to the ultimate assimilation of Earth, examining the consequences for the planet, its biosphere, and every living soul that calls it home. Let us begin with the first sign that the cosmos would give us: the approach. When Uranus first enters the outer reaches of Earth's sphere of influence, its immense mass begins to perturb the delicate balance of our orbital mechanics. The gravitational pull of a planet 14 times more massive than ours would amplify the tidal bulge on Earth, generating a rise of 10 meters of sea level each day. Imagine coastlines being swallowed before you can even register the sound of crashing waves. The moon, caught in this gravitational dance, would see its orbit become wildly elliptical. Perigee tides would surge, spawning mega tsunamis that would lap against continents that have never known such fury. Visualize entire cities disappearing beneath water that rises faster than any flood ever recorded. Simultaneously, the night sky would undergo a transformation that would be both beautiful and terrifying. Uranus, now a bright, icy beacon, would dominate the horizon, its azure glow eclipsing the familiar silver of the moon. The stars would appear as distant pinpricks behind a veil of planetary light, and the constellations that have guided humanity for millennia would lose their shape. In the silence of those nights, the world would hear an almost imperceptible hum, the whisper of a giant gas world drawing ever nearer. Human societies would react in ways both predictable and chaotic. Scientific alerts would be broadcast across every channel. Governments would convene emergency sessions, and the public would be flooded with a mixture of dread and fascination. Imagine the streets filled with people looking up, their faces lit by the eerie glow of a world that has never been seen so close. The psychological weight of knowing that the very fabric of the universe is turning against us would be profound, testing the limits of resilience and hope. But the heavens are only the prelude. As Uranus draws nearer, the true limits of physics begin to emerge. The Roche limit, the distance at which a primary's tidal forces exceed the self-gravity of a secondary body, becomes the next inevitable stage. When Earth crosses this tidal disruption radius, the planet's structural integrity would start to fail. The immense differential forces would stretch the mantle, pulling it apart as if the planet were a loaf of bread being torn by invisible hands. Imagine the solid ground beneath your feet cracking, the continents splintering into islands that drift apart under an unseen tug. At this point, the atmosphere would no longer cling to the surface. The giant's gravity would begin to siphon away the air, thinning it as if a great vacuum were being applied. The sky would darken, the familiar blues giving way to a pale, ghostly hue. Visualize breathing becoming a struggle, the wind turning into a whisper that carries the scent of distant, frozen gases. It is here, in the moments before the final cataclysm, that we confront the ultimate fragility of existence. The planet that has nurtured life for billions of years would be reduced to a fragment of its former self, destined either to be swallowed into the icy envelope of a distant giant or to become a ring of debris circling a new ruler of the solar system. What would remain of humanity, of our cultures, of our stories, when the very ground beneath us dissolves into a sea of hydrogen and methane? If this is blowing your mind, hit that subscribe button and let's keep exploring together. The final act of this cosmic tragedy unfolds not as a sudden flash of brilliance, but as a slow, inexorable surrender of the Earth to a realm of frozen gases and liquid metallic hydrogen. As the planet's mantle is pulled apart, fragments of crust and mantle are scattered into the surrounding atmosphere of the giant, where they encounter temperatures that swing between the extremes of a deep, scorching furnace and an icy, frigid vacuum. In the first moments after the disintegration, the vaporized oceans condense into clouds of water ice that swirl around Uranus like a ghostly veil, while the silicate debris forms a widening torus that circles the planet at a distance comparable to the orbit of Titan around Saturn. If any solid core survives the tidal onslaught, it will be reduced to a mass no larger than a modest moon, a battered husk that continues to orbit within the great blue-green swirl of Uranus's atmosphere. Over the course of millennia, that remnant will be dragged deeper by the planet's powerful winds, eventually melting into the surrounding fluid and becoming indistinguishable from the surrounding material. In effect, the Earth will be erased as an independent entity, its atoms becoming part of a new alien world that never knew the gentle blue of our skies. What does this mean for the story of humanity? All the monuments we have erected, the languages we have spoken, the songs we have sung, these become fleeting echoes that dissolve into the cosmic background, the last thoughts of a surviving mind, perhaps encased in a deep-sea submersible or a hardened underground bunker, would be a mixture of awe and terror as the planet's surface recedes, the horizon turning into a thin line of cold, methane-rich clouds. In those final seconds, the mind might cling to the image of a sunrise over a calm sea, even as the sun itself disappears behind a wall of swirling ice and gas. From a broader perspective, the collision illustrates a fundamental truth about our place in the universe. We are not the masters of the celestial stage, but actors bound by the invisible threads of gravitation and inertia. The forces that keep planets in stable orbits can, given a rare perturbation, rearrange the architecture of an entire solar system in a matter of weeks. The notion that a distant giant of ice could become a harbinger of our extinction forces us to confront the fragility of the delicate balance that sustains life on this world. Yet, even in the face of such overwhelming destruction, there is a strange kind of resilience that emerges. The very fact that we can imagine this scenario, calculate its mechanics, and convey it through words is a testament to the power of human curiosity. It is a reminder that knowledge, though intangible, can outlast the physical structures it describes. The data we gather, the models we build, and the stories we tell will continue to exist long after the original planet has been assimilated, preserved in the collective memory of any future observers who might one day look back at the remnants of our solar system. So, as the last fragments of Earth spiral into the icy embrace of Uranus, what should we, as a species, take away from this vision? Perhaps it is a call to cherish the fleeting stability we enjoy, to protect the delicate ecosystems that have evolved over billions of years, and to use our capacity for foresight to mitigate more probable dangers that lie within our own reach. It also invites us to reflect on the broader tapestry of existence, where each planet, each star, and each galaxy plays a role in an ever-changing cosmos. What would you do if you knew that a giant of ice was on a collision course with our world? Would you spend your final moments seeking comfort in the arms of loved ones? Or would you venture to the highest peaks to watch the sky turn a ghostly shade of blue? Share your thoughts in the comments. The conversation we start here can become a small, enduring thread in the vast fabric of human experience. If this journey through the possible end of Earth has sparked your imagination, consider staying with us for the next explorations of the unknown. Your support, whether through a like, a share, or a subscription, helps keep the conversation alive and allows us to keep diving into the mysteries that surround us. Thank you for traveling to the edge of the possible with us. And until the next horizon, keep looking up